Hi, my name is Aidan. I'm an intern with ClioVis, which is an interactive digital timeline tool created by UT Austin history professor Erica Basumek. Today we're going to talk about how ClioVis can be used in high school history classrooms. This example timeline is created from a project that I created in high school for a competition called National History Day. National History Day is a competition where students middle through high school compete in a research-based history competition that goes all the way up to a national competition level. So, of course, this is a bigger history project than you'd probably typically find in a high school history classroom, but everything that I show here today can be scaled up or down depending on your teaching needs. So, to start, we're going to look at one cool thing. So this was made by me and my friend, actually, and one cool thing that we got to do is interview someone who was part of the NALC, National Association of Letter Carriers, and participated in the 1970 Postal Strike. So as you can see here, we get then using ClioVis, we're able to, well, when I transferred it to ClioVis, apologies, I was able to include a clip of that interview right directly onto the timeline. And over here, I was able to include a clip from CBS Evening News from March 20th, 1970. So what this shows is that students are able to, make their own videos and they can put them on the timeline, find engaging, informative YouTube videos or other videos online. And that could be a great way for students to practice their digital literacy skills. And finally, they can also include like historical digital media and analyze that directly on the timeline. So this feature really demonstrates the ways that high school students can use ClioVis to help bring history further to life using multimedia directly on the timeline, which is super cool in my opinion. You can also include audio snippets, so if you wanted students to work with podcasts that you give them or find their own podcast or even like an oral history, that'd be a great way to include that on your timeline. So I'm training to be a teacher, a public high school history teacher, and another thing that we talk about is getting students in history classrooms to work on their analysis skills, and how a lot of the time teachers have to do that structurally through how they present assignments. And ClioVis is perfectly suited for that given its connections feature. So connections are a core feature of ClioVis that makes it so great in my opinion, and that's what these arrows are here between different events. So when we're talking about like a 1970 postal strike, for example, we can look at how Nixon deferring scheduled postal pay increases helped spark it was like an immediate spark for the 1970 postal strike. So what students can then do, and you can ask them to do, is to include descriptions of how those two events connect. And that is a great way to get students to analyze history right there, is talking about the connections between two events, concepts. The connections feature is great for that. And it also challenges in this new age of AI. It really forces students to think further about things in ways that ChatGPT will sometimes struggle with. And so it really emphasizes human intelligence over AI. So that's another cool feature that you can do. And the final one is we talk about like teaching to each other in classrooms, getting students to teach to each other. So maybe you have a small group, which you can do on ClioVis is you can have students edit a ClioVis timeline in real time on separate devices together. And let's say you have different groups working on different projects, they can then teach them to each other. And one cool way you can do that is by going up here and clicking Start Presentation. If we go there, click on the introduction one, we can do expand slide, and students can then stand at the front of a classroom or in small groups and present their ClioVis timelines just like a slideshow. So this is a great way for students to teach their own projects to each other and make the classroom really a place of like communal learning. So these are just some of the ways that ClioVis can be used in a classroom. Of course, this project is would be a bigger project in today's classrooms and take probably a couple of weeks, but you can also scale it down to just make it shorter assignments as well. So this is just one way that ClioVis could be used in the classroom, and if you're interested in learning more or you want to set up a meeting with us, please reach out to us and we'd be happy to talk.